Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently watched My Little Pony Friendship is Magic yesterday, and the episode was called The Gauntlet of Fire. And I'm sure this episode was made because there were a lot of fans that were of the same ilk as I, believing that Spike always got the short end of the stick, which he usually does. And in this particular episode he has to prove himself, but he's kind of caught between two worlds. And I'm not going to go into why that is, but first of all, I love dragons. I'm a huge fan of dragons. I actually collect them as well as fairies and angels. And I had unicorn. Well, I only have one unicorn. I have a plush unicorn, and I have one griffin, and I have a dog named Griffin. You can sense a theme here. Actually, the story in and of itself was extremely well done, and it was very amusing. And to see how the dragons differed from the ponies was very intriguing as well. And I'm a lot like Twilight. If I had ever had a chance to go, I would be like a kid in a candy store. I would be completely euphoric studying the dragons up close, even though Celestia warned Twilight that going into dragon territory was extremely perilous for ponies, and why wouldn't it be? They're creatures that are much larger, and on the scale you could see that they were just absolutely gargantuan. They dwarfed, well, the ponies were dwarfed by these massive dragons, and I thought, holy moly, they are ginormous. But majestic though they were, I really liked Ember. I thought Ember was a very incredible character. I just immediately fell for her, and she was just amazing. She just proved that stereotypes about dragons are completely off. They're not accurate one way or the other, and that was a very interesting angle, I felt. And as far as the episodes are concerned, Gauntlet was my favorite thus far, other than the crystalline. The crystalline I thought was very, very well done. And even though the episode with Maud was kind of filler, I really liked the episode with Maud, because Maud's become another character that I really enjoy, because I don't know what it is, but I really love deadpan characters, and they're a lot of fun, and they lend a lot of humor, and she's more than just a deadpan character. She's actually very multifaceted, and there's more depth to her. She may seem a little bit shallow and aloof from first blush, but she's very multidimensional as a character, I feel, and she brought out the best in both her sister and in Rarity. And I don't think even Rarity saw that coming. But I absolutely adored this episode, because Rarity had some really good one-liners that were just terrific zingers. And they're in a cave, and she said, "Oh, I wish that unicorn magic. Oh, I wish that unicorn magic wasn't so luminescent." And I thought, you speak quite a bit like I do. You have a very massive vocabulary. Your vocabulary is very verbose. And it's no wonder that people will look at me and think that I'm from another planet when I open my mouth, but might as well be speaking Hebrew. I am learning Hebrew. Hebrew's hard. Anyway, sometimes I think I have ADD just because of the way I talk. I just go off on little tracks sometimes, wherever the thoughts will lead me, like just little butterflies here and there. But this episode was just absolutely wonderful, and I'm looking forward to what they're going to be doing next. I don't know if we're going to have another Equestria Girls. The last Equestria Girls kind of lent it to maybe another Equestria Girls film. Fingers crossed. Here's hoping. I really want to see Discord again. I know there are other fans out there that are like me. I'm a huge John Delancey fan, as you probably will know. I have a crush on the man, still do. Haven't gotten over it. But that's all I have to say. And let's see, I recently finished Poster Boy. I'm going to be posting it on my blog. I've got some other stories that I'm working on right now. I completed Council of Truth Seekers. It turned out to be longer than I had originally planned, and I was extremely overjoyed by that. I'm writing a second chapter to that called the Tales from the Beauty Brigade, and it's coming from the point of view of Cinderella, my main character Ashlyn's little sister. They call her Cinder or Smoke for short, because she, in her spare time, she likes to pretend that she's a ninja. Yeah, she's different. Then I'm working on what I consider to be another magnum opus, which would be Crimson Donia. And if you know me well enough, you realize I'm really into stories about the dark underbelly of crime. And I've been that way ever since I was young. And the story itself stems from things like watching the Bella Mafia when I was growing up on television, and especially The Sopranos. That's a big influence on this film, or this script. Another one would be Boardwalk Empire, which I felt was a continuation of The Sopranos, only more historically accurate during Prohibition, and both of the series were just absolutely astronomically phenomenal. And I still wish that, I know it's never going to be done because James Gandolfini sadly is no longer with us, but if there were a series to complete and wrap up the storylines, I don't think that ever will happen, because my opinion of the last episode is we were the ones who were watching from afar, and we were found out and we got whacked because of it. That's why the screen goes black at the end. Of course, other fans of the show just they have different interpretation of that, and I respect that. Actually, all opinions are welcome. They're still talking about that very episode, the last episode of The Sopranos, and I haven't really watched any recent things concerning the Mafia, but I'm still inspired. I worked on a story with a friend of mine, and it's spawning this as well. I'm going to start work again on collaboration that I did with a friend of mine. There are actually two stories. One's called Heroes in Love. It's supposed to be called Red versus Blue, but I thought, no, Rooster Teeth will sue me. Already been done. You can't do that. They would get rather mad for me kind of borrowing, quote unquote, from their intellectual property. No, I don't have the money for a lawyer. I can't afford it. I can't be my own lawyer because I don't know enough about the legal system to do so. And the other one would be Unlucky Ted. And now that I think of it, I've been reading a comic I really enjoy by Vibsy Pop. It's called Zoophobia. You probably know of it. A lot of people have subscribed to this visual comic book. It is absolutely gorgeous, and everything about it is just completely brilliant. I absolutely love it, and all the themes that interweave. It's just a tremendous, fantastical world that she has created. But the story in and of itself, the main character, Ted, is actually a lot like Jackson. He is cursed with an insurmountable burden of bad luck, the poor guy. He just, no matter what he does, it ends badly for him. And I thought, yeah, my character is exactly like Jackson. He's not related to Satan himself, but no, there are some similarities. I thought, and this is all before I even started reading that, but Ted, his design, his character was all due to my friend Eddie, or Thrill to Rain. That's his name here. And I'm currently on Steam, and of course people won't understand my screen name, but it's SNC 2002. And I'm gonna actually draw a version of this character. I just recently developed her, but she's called the Supernova Cleric. And there's a reason why. First of all, space. I am completely entranced by space and all that is in it, the vastness of it, and the fact that it goes on ad infinitum. The fact that we don't understand everything that's in our universe, let alone our own dimension. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that. I'll start to hurt my brain and brains of other people out there, so I won't do that to you. I'll spare you. But I just felt that making a character like that would be great. She's just going to be one for chatting. She's not going to be one for playing video games, because I just don't have time. I wish I did. If I did, I'd probably be playing BioShock, even though I don't know much about the game. It looks amazing. I'm still a gamer at heart. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't have time. But that's the update I had for everybody. It had been an insane week. My dad had been sick. He had gotten food poisoning, and that was a little bit of a scare. And I'd gone through an emotional roller coaster. I was just a blob of feeling, and there was no logic there. I tried, believe me. It was very, very difficult, and it was like an uphill climb. But thanks be that I had friends to get me through it, including my dad. And despite his ailing, and he's still kind of ailing, and it's due to all the medications they have him on. But I don't know what we'll be doing about that. He's going to see the doctor at some point in time. And I don't have any feeling. Usually I do before somebody's going to die. And I know people sometimes avoid me because of this, but I have an ability to know right before someone punches their ticket, so to speak. And I don't consider it a curse. I actually consider it a blessing. And people who know me well enough, they don't let that frighten them. But there are those who do, because they don't understand it, let alone all my other talents. And it's sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but it is what it is. He seems, like I said, he seems to be doing better. And I'm sorry this video is rambling, but we'll get him checked out, and hopefully the books that I've gotten will be helpful. He can't read, because he's got a detached retina or some kind of macular degeneration. I don't know what it is, but it's something where he has a black spot covering one of his visual sensors, and it just makes it difficult for him to read, and he just doesn't have the oomph or the chutzpah that he used to have when he was younger, and it's due to medication, and he's said that, and I understand. I just really wish that there were a way to give him back what he originally had, give him that pizzazz, the panache, because I like him better when he's like that. He just doesn't seem to have. He's a little bit better now. He's got a little bit more motivation, but it's just it's difficult to see him kind of languish like that. It's hard, but it's part of life, and I've come to accept it, and I know I'm not going to be alone. I've made peace with this fact, and there are people out there that do support me, and I love you for it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Sorry my voice sounds kind of funny. I sound very masculine right now. Kind of husky, like Miss Bernhardt, or who else was husky? I don't remember. Anyway, another country heard from. Do you wish to be fed, young man? I know that you are hungry. You're not going to become emaciated, and no, I will feed you. Don't you worry about that. But other than that, that's all the updates I have for now, and I'll be doing reviews of Orphan Black fairly soon because season 4 just began, and I'm super happy. I'm not watching Gotham anymore. I lost interest. I'm gonna stick around to the end of Grimm. I still love Supernatural, even though Supernatural has become kind of bizarre. But we knew it was going to go down that path. But I love where it is right now because it really plays with your feelings quite a bit, especially with what they've done to Castiel. I mean, these writers are sadists, but most writers are. I don't speak from experience because I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really not. I only kill characters that I think deserve it. But yeah, that just sounds wrong. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. I'm into Outlander. Outlander is absolutely superb. Blacklist took a turn, but I really enjoy it. I'm wondering what they'll do now. It seems like Bokenkamp kind of painted himself into a corner. NCIS LA is good. NCIS is absolutely outstanding, fantastic, marvelous, and magnificent. They're just all fantastic. Let's see, what else am I into right now? I've been watching One Piece. I've been watching Samurai Champloo, which I'm glad I finally had a chance to sit down and view. It's well worth it, even though there are parts of it that are kind of it follows this kind of brambling path that kind of veers off in its own direction every so often, but it's terrific. It really is. I really enjoy it, and I really feel that if it were to get it made into a live action film, that Danny Avedon would be perfect. I don't know who it would be for Jean. It would have to be I don't know. I would probably go for the actor who plays Orlando Bloom. Yeah, Orlando Bloom would be perfect, I think. Either that or Tom Cruise. I know that sounds kind of weird, but he was in The Last Samurai, and if they had a wig for him that looked natural, he would make a perfect Jean, and of course Mugen would be Danny Avedon. As for Fu, I don't know, maybe Scarlett Johansson. I don't really, but it would have to be an Asian. They would have to be somewhat Occidental in how they looked, but anyway, that's just my casting. But I've gone on too long, and I'm sorry. That's about all I have to say. Live long, prosper. Ciao, Tutti.